All right, well, let's cap off what's been a pretty rough week in the news. But I mean, on a good note to a tragic event, as you probably heard, of course, the suspected murderer in the shooting of Charlie Kirk has been caught. His father is the one who turned him in, and his name's Tyler Robinson, a 22-year-old. I guess he had been engraving his bullets as per that earlier rumor with, calling Kirk a fascist and things like that. Clearly nuts, clearly dangerous. Just happy he's at least no longer a risk. He's apprehended. He's off the streets. We'll find out in coming days what he felt his motivation was in that just horrible act. Any other bright shining thing I guess you could look at? Not bright shining, but it really did expose some of the scum we have on social media and the media in general and academia as they came out to dance in Charlie Kirk's grave. And most of the world has rightly just been disgusted with them. And they're earning a lot of their just desserts with that sort of thing. On another tragic note, yes, Rachel Gilmore has resurfaced on X. She only gave us a break for a couple of days. And guess what? She thinks she's a victim. Oh, that poor girl, the suffering she must endure. Either way, we'll watch, as this develops. I can't, it's unimaginable. Can you imagine being a parent and one of your children did something like this? Like, I you can't predict everything a child is going to do. You can't be responsible for them their whole lives. And I guess a good thing is he did the right thing, the father of this nut, as much as he could. I'm thinking of a case that there was that case with that girl who was murdered in the Western United States, I think in Colorado. She'd been traveling, doing the van living thing with a scumbag of a guy who killed her out on the road and then came back to his home in Florida. And then his parents tried to cover up for him when it became evident he did it. Big difference. So, I mean, again, it's all tragedies, but at least a person can still act right in the case of a tragedy, even if it's your own kids. And that's what happened here. All right, let's see. Getting on to what has to be the dumbest union in the world. And that's quite a bar because there's a lot of dumb unions out there. But yes, the Canadian postal workers, went on strike for Christmas last year, screwed a lot of Canadian businesses, messed with a lot of people's money and time. They're still whining. They don't get it. They absolutely don't get it. Canada Post is losing billions of dollars. And the mail demand is never coming back. Never. The letter mail, never coming back. And you guys screwed up the parcel thing because you're terrible and unreliable and expensive, and you won't take heavy parcels and you won't work weekends. So guess what? It's time to go. But what are they doing now? They've decided, the postal union has decided they're going to stop delivering flyers. This is how they're going to protest now because they want to preserve this obsolete job. You might as well bring back Milkman and Blockbuster, guys. It's not coming back. We need to lay off 80% of these monkeys. And I'm calling them monkeys because I'm sick of them. They have a good gig. They got good money, pension, benefits for doing a flyer boy's job. And they still complain. And now they're killing the goose that laid the golden egg. So I have no pity for them. Lay them off. Cut it to the bone. Carney has been reversing some of the things Trudeau did. Well, this is one of them because Trudeau made a promise to keep home delivery for postal workers. So yeah, there's still mail monkeys coming to over a third of Canadian houses bringing junk mail to the door. They won't even bring that now because that's pretty much all that comes anymore. So they're not delivering flyers anymore. So what else are they going to deliver? We don't need any mail service more than once a week. We don't. It's time to let them all go. Cut it down to a 1 day a week of delivery. No more right to the door. Super boxes everywhere. Let's just get on with it. It's not an employment program for the inept. Well, that's what it is right now. It's got to stop. Because taxpayers are bailing them out. That's part of what they were saying before. Oh, it's a self-funding thing. It's a crown corporation. It's not costing taxpayers. No, actually, now that it's losing billions, taxpayers are the owners, and taxpayers are bailing them out. We've got a bad enough time in the economy without giving billions to this dinosaur. So, yeah, I don't know. They're just making it worse. They won't cooperate with any efforts to streamline the organization. And they're doing something as stupid as stopping delivering flyers. Guys, that was the only thing that was making you idiots any money. You won't do that? Hit the unemployment lines. It's where you belong. Speaking of dumb, this is interesting polling coming in Alberta, where the UCP under Daniel Smith has got a pretty solid 11-point lead on the NDP. But the interesting thing out of all of that, too, is that she's still in that same bunch of polling lagging. People aren't that happy with Smith in general. 66% think she's failing on the cost of living. 64% think she's failing on healthcare. 54% think she's failing on the economy. 59% think she's failing on public safety. And 63% think she's failing on affordability. But they still support her more than the NDP. So it's showing where people are thinking, geez, Smith government's doing a pretty bad job, but they're still nowhere near as bad as what Naheed Nenshi would do if he got his hands on the province, and the socialists with the NDP, which is good to see. I want Smith to get it together and get a little better on some of these files. I think she's done very well on some files. She's taking stances, good ones, strong ones. And she's got the entire media, the legacy media in Alberta. I mean, they are the anti-Smith media, if you've ever heard it. If you turn on talk radio in Alberta, it's all anti-Smith all the time, and it's not working because people still aren't turning towards Naheed Nenshi. So good for that. But it is leading to some rumors, too. And actually, yes, there we go. Alberta still ranks higher than other provinces in relative satisfaction, though. This whole country is getting pretty discontent and upset with things. And they did score the best in the country on satisfaction with inflation, and second best actually on healthcare and public safety. So as bad as it is, it's the least bad of the bunch because it's all going bad. So that kind of lets you know a lot of it's due to federal politics, and it's just the provincial leaders are getting the brunt of the dissatisfaction out of it. But again, they know that Nenshi isn't the answer. So that's good. She might call a snap election. There's that rumor. I hope not, because it is hardcore opportunism when they do that sort of thing. But yeah, she might snap it open this fall, win a larger majority, and then snap it closed again while the NDP are weak. We'll see. That's politics for you. She sounded very optimistic, Premier Smith. I mentioned that in the show yesterday, or whatever, my broadcast, with Carney. Seemed to be kind of happy with what he's up to. And now we see a little bit of what she was talking about, perhaps, because it sounds like Carney might actually move on the emissions cap. The emissions cap is a production cap. That's been a huge sticking point with the energy industry in Alberta for years. Trudeau brought that in, basically saying, well, here's the cap. This is the most you can do, which means that we can only produce so much oil or gas because we hit a certain point that they determine, and it becomes illegal to produce anymore. It sounds like the Carney government is looking to maybe get rid of that cap, which would be a good thing. Look, I'm not pro-Carney, but hey, I'll take good actions where we can. We need an injection in our economy. We need things to get rolling. Getting rid of that, if you want to talk about bringing capital investment into Western Canada and maybe even Northern Canada with the Arctic, get rid of the emissions cap. You still got to get rid of the anti-pipeline bill. You still got to get rid of the tanker ban. But the emissions cap is a big one. And it's another, hat that Trudeau was trying to hang his legacy on. He must be just, if he's following the news wherever he is, he must be just bawling. Though he's sitting pretty enough. There was a report recently that he's charging $100,000 as a speaking fee. Now he's on the speaking, circuit, and somebody will pay it. Some groups will pay it, or other government-funded groups or education-funded groups. So if you're a former prime minister, president, anything like that, somebody will pay to listen to you speak. I would pay to not listen to him speak. I listened to him enough for the last 10 years and some. Whatever. Soft landings for ex-prime ministers. That's nothing new. Looking at truckers, the federal government, this is an interesting one. They're going to spend $500,000 on a project aimed at making Canada's trucking industry more diverse and inclusive. Yeah, Patty Haidu is going to Trucking HR Canada through Ottawa's workplace opportunities to remove barriers to equity. Have they been out at all on a highway in Canada, on a street in Canada, at a truck stop? Go to a truck stop. I'm sure a few of you check the glory holes out there once in a while. Go look outside of that. There's no lack of diversity in Canada's trucking industry, guys. Whatever the industry may need, more diversity isn't it. It's very diverse. There's every color in the rainbow out there. It's as diverse as the taxi industry or the convenience store industry. Yet we're going to spend another $500,000 to make it more diverse. I'm not sure what else you can do, but we can pour our money in. Somebody will make money being the consultant on that, make six figures with that. Off they go. Here's one with a bubble zone that they're coming up with, perhaps. Legislation next week might come in to prevent this is, again, could be a good one if they follow through. Prevent individuals from intimidating or obstructing people from entering places of worship, cultural community centers, and schools. Look, that's only been happening at one place, guys. Synagogues and Jewish schools. The pro-Hamas bunch have been unfettered and intimidating and protesting outside of all those places for years now. And it's targeted harassment of a racial minority. I don't think we need a bubble zone. What we need is some balls, because the laws are already there for a lot of this. It's just nobody's enforcing them. So we'll see if this leads to something. I hope so, because it's ridiculous that kids, Jewish kids and such, should feel intimidated going to school, or parishioners going to their synagogue should feel intimidated going, having to walk through a bunch of racist protesters, pro-Hamas, people and terrorist supporters. But will the Toronto police force actually enforce it? I doubt it. Very much so. So this could be just more posturing from the government. But again, we'll see where it goes. On to the world of idiocy. An electric bus burned to the ground in Quebec. Yeah, that's been a bit of an issue. Electric buses actually have been proving to be complete junk all around the world. Expensive junk. Unreliable junk. And in Quebec, one burned to the ground, so they've grounded their fleet of 1,200 of those suckers, these school buses in Quebec, until they figure out what happened with it. And this is Lion buses, they're called, these electric buses. Let's not forget Calgary spending hundreds of millions of dollars to buy more of these things, even though their pilot project on electric buses was a complete failure. At least, thankfully, I guess, they're willing to reevaluate these things before any children get barbecued, which is a plus. Using a little pragmatism, looking on the bright side. Back to some more polling. This is federal. Abacus data and Nanos research have both basically found 3/4 of Canadians are saying we've got to reduce the amount of immigrants. We have to. We must. Many of those respondents are immigrants, folks. Enough is enough. The government has to start responding to the people. They're here to reflect us. That's enough. I know the immigration is serving well to shore up that sagging economy to a degree, but in reality, it's dropping our GDP per capita. And now the GDP in general is going down. It's time to start listening, because we're going to get growing intolerance. We're going to get problems. I mean, whether rightly or wrongly, what happens when you get something like this is people start to blame anything and everything wrong in their life on something else, and they will start wrongly blaming some immigrants. We're going to see some new Canadians get the brunt of things that they had nothing to do with, that they didn't do anything wrong with. But that's because this government is letting mass, uncontrolled immigration pour in, which is leading to shortages of housing, healthcare, all of these things. We got to stop listening to the jerks who keep calling everybody the R word the second they dare to critique this. 3/4 of Canadians are on board. That means Canadians of every color are on board. Cut immigration. It's time. It's past time. Next week, House of Commons will open up. Maybe all these question marks in this talk will start filling in, because that's been the problem with Carney so far. He's been talk, but he doesn't actually do anything. Now the rubber's going to hit the road. Parliament's going to be in session. Is he actually going to do anything? I hope so. I mean, I guess some partisans might hope he doesn't, so it makes a better chance of finally getting them thrown out of there. I'm a pragmatist when it comes to this. Just let's get things better. So hopefully he follows through on some of these things. He's saying the right things, but he's still completely worthless on action. Either way, that's what I got for this week, guys. I'll check in with you on Monday with the news of that day. And of course, keep following the Western Standard. That's where a lot of my stuff goes, and all sorts of other things, so you don't have to deal with legacy media. Check the media that's independent, that doesn't take the tax dollars, and will cut through the BS for you.